Okay, how are you surviving with Tinkercad? I hope that you are finding things reasonably easy. There's been 4 of the lessons where you're just learning how to do stuff. The 5th lesson was with the key tag. This is the 6th lesson. It's another make it lesson, and we're going to make a pencil topper, which I can't show you, but it will slot down on the top of a standard hex pencil. I don't know what size pencils everyone has universally, but in Australia we get these normal writing pencils that kids use in school are a pretty standard Staedtler pencil. And this is designed to fit on the end of that. You can put it either on the top or on the bottom, protect the lead, or when they're writing, sit it on top. It also helps for when the kids drop their pencils on the floor. You can pick it up and you'll instantly know whose pencil it is. And you'll also have to not worry about any more scraping the side of the pencil to put their names on it. So enough of me, let's get going and we'll make a topper to go on a pencil. It's very simple and very straightforward, and it's another really good lesson you can give your kids to do, to design, and we'll get busy. All right, so in Tinkercad we are going to open up a new workplane, clicking create 3D design. Bit coffee at the moment, and the workplane opens up like so, and we need 3 shapes, so let's drag them out. 4 shapes if you include text. We need a box, we need a cylinder, we need a hexagon. Where is that? There it is, a hexagon, and we need text, but we'll get that in a minute. Now all of these shapes will need to be resized, and the hexagon will be resized to be the hole because it is the center. Okay, so here we go. We're going to start with this one. Now it all depends on your name. If you can shorten your name to say 4 letters thereabouts, then the dimensions for this one will be 33 millimeters. But if you need more letters than that, you can really make it as long as you want, but obviously the longer you make it, the more of the pencil it covers. And I would been using in class 39 millimeters if they have more than 4 letters, and I've been getting them to sort of keep it to 6 or less. All right, so we're going to resize this, first clicking on it and bringing the sides to the maximum and the segments to the maximum, so it's round, and we're going to give it a bevel of 1 just to soften the edges a bit because it is the part they're going to be touching all the time. All right, so now our dimensions, we might use a new tool today which we haven't used before. I'm just putting those to the side, bringing this here, and we have over here the ruler. And if I bring the ruler out and I can just put it anywhere on the workplane like so, you can now see all these dimensions. You can see that my workplane or my cylinder is 20 millimeters high, it is 20 millimeters wide, it is 20 millimeters wide, it is currently 21 millimeters from the end point, it is currently 4 millimeters off the bottom plane, and all these dimensions I can change. I could lift it off the base plate as well, so I could change all of these, and we're going to make it 11 millimeters by 11 millimeters, so 11 and then 11. And our height, now this depends on whether you are going for the 4 letters or going for 6. If you're going for 4 letters, like Dave, as in my name, I will go 33 millimeters. If you are going for the 6, set that at 39. All right, so we're just going +6 if you're doing 6 more. All right, so that gives me my roundness and my height, and everything is done. And once I've finished with this ruler, I can just go dismiss and the ruler's gone. Now this shape I can push to the side and we'll bring over the hexagon. All right, so the hexagon, I might bring out my ruler tool again so I can change all the dimensions at the one time. And this one here, you can see it's 17 by 20. Now, it is wider on the points than it is on the width. So on the width, we're going to make this 7.15 millimeters. On the pointy bits, we're going to make it 7.8. And on the height, we're going to make it 3 millimeters less than the height of this. So if this was 33, you'll make it 30. Actually, we'll go 2. So we'll go 2 millimeters less. So if this was 33, you'll make it 31. If you went for 39, you'll make it 37. All right, so let's go. I'm going to go 31. You can choose 31 or 37. All right, we're also going to go over here and raise the sides to the maximum. Oh, no, we're not. That was a dumb thing to do. It needs to have 6 because that's a hexagon. I was confused. We're going to change the bevel to 1, just to round it off a little bit, and we're going to do the segments to the maximum. So segments maximum, bevel 1, and that gives it a nice round edge. So what we need to do now is also turn this hexagon into a whole shortcut of H. And I'm going to get rid of my ruler now because I've changed all my settings, like so. And we're going to group these two items. So I'm going to select them both. And I'm going to use the align tool. Middle, middle. All right, and then group. And once that's grouped, I should be able to flip that over. And you can see I've got the hexagon hole in the middle. Nice and easy. So that has got the topper itself. That'll slide down firmly over a pencil. Now we need to put the nameplate on it. So let's do that. The nameplate, I'm going to drag out the ruler again, and I'm only doing it more for familiarity so you get used to what you can do with the ruler. We're going to set this to be 6 millimeters wide. We're going to set it to be 2 millimeters thick. And we're going to, hang on, wrong one. We're going to set that one to be 3 millimeters shorter than the height. So that will make it, for me, 31. And the thickness, the depth, I'm going to change that to be 2. All right, so 6 across the front, 2 thick, and 31 high, 2 millimeters less than the height of this. All right. So that's that one set, and I'm going to change the steps on this to be the maximum, and I'm going to change the radius to 1 to once again soften those edges up a little bit like so. So that is my nameplate. Remember, if you are doing 4 letters, it'll be 31. If you are doing up to 6, you'll be going for 37 on this one. All right, so I'll move this out of the way, and I'm going to get rid of my ruler again, and I'm going to group these two items, selecting them both using the align tool, and I'm going to go group to the center, and I'm not going to the middle, I'm going to go flush to the front, and that pushes it in there, which is giving me a flat surface to put my text on. All right, so while I'm nicely selected, I'm now going to group them using union group. All right, there we go, nicely grouped like so. And now you can see I've got my hole in the middle, and I've got the nameplate on the front that my text can go on. So last time we used different text, I'm going to use the text tool from here. I'm just going to drag it out, and I'm going to put the temporary work plane straight on the flat face of the plate, like so. All right, no big deal, there it is. And I'm going to have to rotate it. Now this is up to you, 90 degrees. You can go 90 degrees that way, or you can go 90 degrees that way. And something we haven't covered yet is the rotation tool, which I should cover now. These arrows, as we rotate them, I'm going to get rid of that work plane. There we go. These arrows, as we rotate them, you can see this one's going to rotate it around the base. This one is going to rotate it clockwise or anti-clockwise, and this one's going to rotate it in those directions, so forwards and backwards. If I move my cursor and I click on that arrow and I just stay within this blue section, it will rotate in increments of 22.5 degrees. However, if I click on this arrow here, you can see the black arrow there, and I go outside of that blue ring, I can now rotate it in increments of 1 degree. The problem we have is this. If you have a child that rotates a shape and they do this and they let go, it does not, next time I click on it, say, oh yes, this has been rotated to whatever the degree is. It just says we're starting at 0. So if they happen to muck something up and get it out of line, you have to either get them to start it again, or you have to know exactly what it was they did the first time. All right, so it's really important, even if they rotate a shape a little bit that way, it's really hard to know, because once they let go, it just registers it at 0. It doesn't go, yes, okay, this has been rotated at this degree. It just says, that's it. That's 0. So I'm now, because I've mucked that text up, going to delete it, and I'm going to try again. Now, get rid of my work plane, click on my text, and I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees, like so. Don't worry about how big it sticks out or anything like that. I'm going to resize it to be 5 millimeters wide, 1 millimeter thick, and then I think the top one will need to be, we made that 31, so let's go 20, let's go 30. There we go, 30. So now you can see it's actually sticking through the work plane. All right. So remember our earlier lesson where we brought things back up onto the work plane. To get it to line up onto the work plane, I just press D. All right, so now it's dead flush with this work plane here, and I want it to be onto this, which I'm not fussed about just yet. So I'm going to change it to say my name, Dave, and I'm going to turn it into a hole, like so. Now this is a step that you'll either muck up or get right, and a lot of kids get this bit wrong. Using the aligning tool, selecting both shapes, aligning, I'm going to go to the middle. So now that it's got it in the middle, I'm going to put it in the middle height-wise, which so it's good. And then this one here will emboss my engrave my text in, like so. It's now pushed it in, so that when I group it, it will engrave it. And that's what I'm going to do now. Group it. And as you can see, I've got a little nameplate now. My text is centered. It's engraved into the pencil topper. And this pencil topper is right to print. Now, obviously, you might want to measure your pencils if you're using them and check that the dimensions fit. If you're using round pencils, obviously, you could just do that with a cylinder in the bottom. Or if we're using 3-point pencils, then you could change that to be a 6-sided or a 3-sided, all those sorts of things. So there's lots of things you can change. I'm setting it up for a hex pencil. You can set it up for any pencil you want. It is now ready to export. And that is the pencil topper. It takes about, on my printer, it takes about 20 minutes to print. Print one. So if you set a heap of them going, be prepared to just go off and do something else. But kids love it. And if you print it in multicolored silks, it looks even prettier. And the kids love that even more. So I hope you've enjoyed lesson 6. And we'll be back in a time soon. I think the next lesson we will make a spirograph. All right. Hope you're enjoying. Keep on watching.